energetic sovereignty, sacred boundaries and relational prosperity, apertura quantica. Your mind shapes reality with every focused breath and every chosen word. Your field is a sanctuary where energy agrees to dance in harmony with your values. Your voice carries the geometry of your destiny, and your boundaries define the riverbanks through which your life force flows toward prosperity. Section 1. Deep Gaze, the River, the Garden, and the Starseed. There is a river inside the heart that never runs dry. Sacred boundaries form its banks. Without banks, the river floods and loses force. With clear banks, it becomes power, direction, and song. The garden of the self flourishes when the fence is woven with truth, kindness, and resolve. Every flower receives sunlight without being trampled. Every tree gives shade without being exploited. The sovereign soul gives and receives without leaking essence. The path of the starseed unfolds like a spiral staircase. Each turn clarifies a boundary, dissolves a fear, and reveals a resource. The warrior of compassion protects the inner temple. The lover of truth nurtures connection without self-abandonment. The magician of mind alchemizes triggers into teachings. The healer of lineage restores innocence to the body-mind. These archetypal allies whisper one instruction: honor your yes, honor your no. Energetic sovereignty does not harden the heart, it tempers it. A tempered blade can cut through fog without harming the air. A sovereign yes arises from devotion. A sovereign no arises from self-respect. Both are prayers. Both are bridges. Both are art. Relational prosperity follows sovereignty the way dawn follows night. Your presence becomes coherent. Your nervous system broadcasts safety. Your words align with your breath. Your love becomes a renewable light. People feel the clarity and either resonate or leave. Both movements serve destiny. What leaves frees the path. What stays deepens the roots. Section 2. Scientific and Psychological Foundations, Transpersonal Psychology. Transpersonal psychology views the self as a multi-layered field. Personal identity rests within a larger awareness that includes archetypal patterns, collective memory, and transpersonal states. Boundary work integrates both levels. On the personal level, boundaries regulate contact. On the transpersonal level, boundaries articulate soul contracts and life purpose. Coherent boundaries function like semi-permeable membranes. They allow nourishment in and keep toxicity out. In altered or expanded states, the sense of unity increases without dissolving discernment. The wise membrane remains. Humanistic psychology. Humanistic psychology emphasizes authenticity, unconditional positive regard, and self-actualization. When boundaries are clear, authenticity feels safe. The organismic valuing process becomes reliable. Self-acceptance lowers defensive reactivity and elevates responsive choice. Healthy limits invite reciprocal respect and mutual growth. Needs are acknowledged without guilt. Empathy is offered without self-erasure. Love becomes a choice rooted in freedom. Attachment and the nervous system. The nervous system calibrates boundaries. Hyperactivation blurs them. Collapse erases them. Regulation clarifies them. Safe connection grows from a regulated spine and a rhythmic breath. Co-regulation becomes possible. Polyvagal theory describes a hierarchy. Ventral vagal states support social engagement and nuanced boundary expression. Sympathetic states prepare for mobilization and protection. Dorsal states invite restoration but also risk shutdown. Sovereignty means knowing the road home from each state. Breath, posture, and language offer the map. Cognitive frameworks and neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity encodes boundary patterns through repetition and emotional salience. Every time you say a clean no while breathing slowly, neurons fire a new path of dignity. Every time you say a clean yes anchored in values, neurons braid commitment with joy. Thought arrow, emotion arrow, behavior arrow result creates a feedback loop. Replace self-abandoning thoughts with self-honoring narratives. Rehearse, anchor, repeat. The brain reshapes the landscape to match the new story. Behavioral economics of energy, time and attention are currencies. Focus is interest compounded. Leaks are hidden fees. A boundary is a budget. A schedule is a ledger. A priority is a sovereign investment. When your calendar reflects your soul values, relational prosperity rises like an index tracking coherence. Section 3. Applied biodecoding the body as an oracle. The body records boundary history with exquisite precision. When limits collapse, tissue compensates. When voice silences, muscle fibers speak through tension. When truth is delayed, organs whisper through symptoms. Throat tightness or recurring sore throat often corresponds to blocked expression and fear of rupture. Sovereign remedy, voice activation, low-tone humming, and boundary scripts. Upper back and shoulder tension may encode carrying others beyond consent. Sovereign remedy, I return what is not mine with love, followed by postural reset and load renegotiation. Stomach acidity or knots often tracks boundary confusion around receiving. Sovereign remedy, mindful eating, and the mantra, I digest only what nourishes my life. Pelvic heaviness can reflect safety deficits in intimacy or money. Sovereign remedy, grounding practices, hip circles, and resource mapping for financial intimacy clarity. Chronic fatigue sometimes signals overextension, hyperempathy, or unspoken resentment. Sovereign remedy, restoration cycles, microassertions, and energy audit. Biodecoding, root of liberation 1. Identify the conflict, name the boundary that was crossed or abandoned. 2. Locate the imprint, feel the body zone speaking for the boundary. 3. Decode the belief, surface the narrative that authorizes the leak. 4. Transform the meaning, update the narrative with truth and choice. 5. Rehearse the behavior, practice the new limit in safe scenarios. 6. Seal with ritual, anchor the change somatically and symbolically. 7. Integrate rhythmically, repeat across days and contexts until it feels native. The symptom becomes a signal rather than an enemy. The body graduates from battleground to council of elders. Each ache carries a treaty. Each release signs a new constitution. Section 4. Quantum NLP Tools. Step-by-step reprogramming tool. A. Boundary identity statement. Purpose. Install a sovereign self-concept that guides micro-choices. Script. I honor my essence through clear, compassionate limits. My yes builds life. My number protects life. My energy belongs to my purpose, and I share it by choice. Practice. Stand tall, feet grounded. Breathe in for 4, hold 2, exhale 6, hold 2. Speak the script aloud 3 times, pausing to feel spine length and jaw softening. Visualize a luminous ring around your body, permeable to love, reflective to harm. Repeat morning and night for 21 days. Tool B, the sovereign, yes-no calibration scale. Purpose, replace confusion with embodied clarity. Steps 1, rate your internal signal on a 0 to 10 scale for yes and no separately. 2, if yes greater than or equal to 7 and breath remains fluid, choose yes. 3, if no greater than or equal to 7 and breath constricts when imagining yes, choose no. 4. If both are mid-range, request time or info. 5. Log decisions and outcomes for pattern learning. Tool C. Boundary language upgrade from apology-laden, vague, rescuing to clear, kind, concise, anchored. Templates. This does not work for me. Here is what does work. I am available for X, not available for Y. I choose to pause and revisit on Friday. I appreciate your ask. I cannot commit practice in front of a mirror. Record and replay. Tune tone to warmth plus firmness. Remove filler. Keep breath steady. Tool D. Trigger alchemy loop. Purpose. Convert reactions into resources. Loop trigger. Sensation naming. 3 breaths. Boundary check. Value reminder. Response. Example. Chest heat, jaw tight. 3 slow breaths. My value is reciprocity. My boundary is 2 hours of focus. I will reply after 3 p.m. Tool E. Energetic audit and leak repair inventory people. Supportive, neutral, depleting. Projects aligned, pending, legacy only. Platforms, signal, noise, habits, charging, draining. Repairs, cancel or renegotiate 2 depleting commitments this week. Automate 1 repetitive task. Batch communications. Move the phone out of the bedroom. Add a 20-minute daily coherence block. Tool F. Prosperity field installation visualization. See yourself standing in a crystalline octahedron. Above, a sun of truth. Below, a lake of rest. On the right, action. On the left, intuition. In front, service. Behind, ancestry. Speak. I prosper by alignment. I receive through consent. I contribute with joy. Repeat for 9 minutes. Seal with a hand on the heart and one on the belly. Section 5. Spiritual perspective and Christic consciousness. Christic consciousness radiates unity with lucid discernment. Love without boundaries becomes martyrdom. Boundaries without love become cold stone. The golden path holds both. The heart becomes a chalice where compassion and clarity blend. The voice becomes a flute that carries truth without violence. The hands become bridges that offer help without extraction. Unity does not cancel individuality. Unity celebrates distinct frequencies braided in harmony. Each sovereign boundary adds a clean note to the cosmic choir. The more coherent the note, the richer the chord. The more truthful the chord, the more life rises to meet it. Forgiveness liberates trapped energy without enabling harm. Devotion fuels courage without bypassing responsibility. Humility opens listening without surrendering discernment. The Christic current calls the soul to serve from overflow rather than deficit. Overflow is the fragrance of sovereignty. Section 6. Integrative ritual, the boundary. Rose time, 22 minutes. Items, a candle, a glass of water, a small stone, a paper and pen. Sequence 1. Ground, sit upright, feet on the floor. Exhale slowly to anchor the pelvis. 2. Light, ignite the candle stating, I illuminate truth in my field. 3. Water, take 3 sips. I invite clarity and flow. 4. Stone, hold in the left hand. I stabilize my boundaries with kindness. 5. Write. List 3 situations needing a boundary. 6. Language. Write 1 clean sentence for each. 7. Embodiment. Stand and speak each sentence while pressing toes into the ground and relaxing the shoulders. 8. Seal. Blow lightly over the water. I seal these choices in peace. 9. Close. Place the stone where you work or sleep as a daily anchor. Daily micro-ritual. Morning, 1 breath, 1 sentence, 1 step. Midday, 3 breaths, 1 renegotiation if needed. Night, gratitude for 1 boundary honored. Practical maps, scripts, micro-exercises and anchors. Script, library time boundary. I can offer 30 minutes today. For anything more, let us schedule next week financial boundary. My rate for this is X. If that does not work, I can recommend alternatives. Family boundary. I love you, and I am not available for this topic right now. Friendship boundary. I value our connection. I need conversations that feel reciprocal. Intimacy. Boundary. I move at a pace that keeps my body safe and open. I will speak if that changes workload boundary. My capacity is full. I can revisit on the 15th. Micro exercises spine line. Imagine a beam from crown to tailbone for 60 seconds before any difficult conversation. Jaw, unhook. Inhale, nose. Exhale, mouth with tongue soft. 3 times to release people-pleasing reflex. Palm anchor, press thumb to middle of the palm while stating your limit. Gaze, horizon. Look at a distant point to engage ventral vagal tone before speaking. Boundary metrics leak. Score from 0 to 10 after each day. Recovery time. Minutes needed to return to calm after a boundary moment. Reciprocity ratio. Energy given versus received in key relationships. Alignment index. Percent of calendar that matches core values. Track weekly. Celebrate improvement rather than perfection. Lineage healing weave. Write a letter to the ancestor who collapsed boundaries to survive. Thank the resilience. Return the burden. Keep the wisdom. Burn or bury the letter with a rose petal. Speak. I choose dignity without hardness, generosity without leakage, devotion without erasure. Feel the line behind you. Exhale. Feel the line ahead of you. Stand taller. Money as a mirror of boundaries. Money follows clarity. Pricing reflects self-respect. Invoices carry the tone of your nervous system. Agreements are energetic vows. Put consent in writing. Define scope, timeline, and compensation. Add a renegotiation clause. Replace urgency with transparency. Replace discounting with value articulation. Replace overgiving with excellence. Install a prosperity protocol. Inquiry to discovery. Call to scope to proposal to boundary summary to agreement to delivery to review to referral. Each step includes a pause for consent. Each pause protects the riverbanks. Conflict without violence. State impact without accusation. Request repair without humiliation. Offer choice without manipulation. Keep body online through breath and posture. Use the 3C frame. Clear, compassionate, consequence-aware. Example, when messages arrive after 10 p.m., my sleep is disrupted. I will mute notifications at 9 p.m. I remain open to scheduling windows that work for both. Integration for sensitive empaths. Empathy is a gift when it travels inside a channel. Channel building requires limits. Choose 3 daily containment moves. Headphones with brown noise while working. Weighted blanket for 15 minutes. Screen boundaries after sunset. 5-minute shaking to discharge sympathy overload. Nature exposure with bare feet for grounding. Breath, prayer, code, a triad for coherence. Breath guides physiology. Prayer shapes meaning. Code installs behavior. Triad ritual. 3 rounds of 4-2-6-2 breathing, 1 minute of the boundary identity statement, 1 concrete calendar action. The field updates, the day obeys. Case weavings, symbolic examples. The artist honored a no to unpaid exposure. Energy returned. A paid commission arrived within days. The caregiver renegotiated evening availability. Sleep improved. Patience rose. Relationships brightened. The founder installed proposal boundaries. Scope creep ended. Team morale stabilized. Revenue became reliable. The field follows the fence. The fence follows the heart. The heart follows the truth. Ethics of sovereignty. Sovereignty respects others' sovereignty. Boundaries serve mutual flourishing. Consent remains central. Reparations heal when history weighs on the present. Power is stewarded, not hoarded. Truth is delivered with warmth. Silence becomes a choice, not a collapse. Generosity flows from fullness, not from fear. High-frequency close. Axiom, challenge, and activation. Frase maestra. Clarity is love in structure, and presence is prosperity in motion. Reto cuántico. 24 horas. Identificar una fuga y cerrarla con una oración clara y amable. Schedule 1 prosperity-aligned block of 20 minutes. Perform the boundary rose ritual tonight. Código de activación. Whisper 3 times while exhaling slowly. Sovereign heart, sacred river, living boundary. Touch the heart. Touch the belly. Touch the throat. Walk forward. Con amor, infinito, and Ryu el activador cuántico.